There is a sentence that has been echoing in my mind lately. I expected value and appreciation from other people when I should have first learned to give it to myself. For a long time, I thought my greatest strength was loyalty. I believed that if I worked harder than everyone else, if I cared more than everyone else, if I solved problems that weren't mine, if I sacrificed enough, if I proved my commitment over and over again, then one day someone would look at me and say, "We see you. We value you. You matter to us." For years, I believed that. I believed that organizations rewarded loyalty. I believed that extraordinary effort would eventually be recognized. I believed that if I stood beside people during difficult moments, they would one day stand beside me during mine. Looking back now, I realized that I wasn't just working. I was searching. Searching for validation, searching for belonging, searching for proof that I was valuable. The mistake wasn't that I worked hard. The mistake wasn't that I cared. The mistake wasn't even that I believed in people. The mistake was believing that other people would become the guardians of my own interests. I slowly started making decisions that I would never make today. I accepted responsibilities that weren't mine. I solved problems that I hadn't created. I carried emotional burdens that belonged to other people. I kept saying yes because I thought saying yes made me valuable. I thought loyalty was something that eventually came back to you. But loyalty without boundaries slowly becomes self-abandonment. At first, you don't notice it, because every extra task seems small, every extra hour seems insignificant, every favor feels temporary, every sacrifice feels noble. You tell yourself it's only this once. They need me. It's a difficult moment. I'll help. And then another request comes, and another, until one day you wake up and realize that what used to be extraordinary has become expected. Not because anyone explicitly asked you to sacrifice yourself forever, but because you kept teaching people that your boundaries were flexible while theirs remained firm. The hardest part about this realization isn't discovering what other people did. The hardest part is realizing what you allowed yourself to accept. That is a painful sentence to say, because it forces you to stop blaming only the world and start asking yourself difficult questions. Why didn't I say no? Why was I so afraid of disappointing other people? Why did I protect everyone else's interests while neglecting my own? For a long time, I answered those questions by calling myself naive. I called myself stupid. I felt embarrassed. I wondered how someone intelligent could make decisions that now seem so obvious. But the more I reflected, the more I realized that intelligence was never the problem. I wasn't making irrational decisions. I was making emotional decisions. I wanted to belong. I wanted to contribute. I wanted to be part of something meaningful. I wanted to build something bigger than myself. There is nothing shameful about those desires. The danger wasn't wanting those things. The danger was believing that I had to earn my place through endless sacrifice. Because once belonging becomes something you have to earn, you slowly stop asking whether you still belong to yourself. One realization changed everything for me. I discovered that I had been waiting for other people to tell me what I should have been telling myself all along. That I was valuable, that my work mattered, that my time mattered, that my knowledge mattered, that my effort mattered. And because I kept waiting for someone else to confirm my worth, I postponed protecting it. I expected appreciation to arrive one day. I expected fairness to appear eventually. I expected loyalty to be returned naturally. I confused hope with evidence. That was one of the most expensive lessons of my life, not because I lost years are gone regardless, but because I realized that I had slowly disconnected from the one person who should have been protecting my interests from the very beginning, myself. There is another lesson that completely changed the way I see work. Many of us are taught to be loyal, to go above and beyond, to prove ourselves, to stay late, to always be available, to solve problems before anyone even asks. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with being dedicated. Dedication is beautiful, professionalism is beautiful, Excellence is beautiful, but there is a very thin line between dedication and believing your value depends on how much you sacrifice. Never confuse those two. The company may appreciate your effort, your colleagues may genuinely like you, your manager may sincerely thank you, but no matter how wonderful the people are, your career is still your responsibility. Your boundaries are still your responsibility. Your future is still your responsibility. Nobody will ever care about your career as much as you should. And that's not a cynical statement. It's simply reality. Organizations have goals. Managers have goals. Owners have goals. You must have goals too. The moment you stop protecting your own interests because you're hoping someone else eventually will, you hand over something that was never meant to belong to anyone else, your own agency. Looking back now, I don't think my greatest mistake was trusting people. I think my greatest mistake was believing that because I was protecting someone else's interests, someone would naturally protect mine. That expectation quietly shaped years of my life. Not anymore. Today, my understanding of loyalty has completely changed. Loyalty doesn't mean abandoning yourself. Loyalty doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Loyalty doesn't mean proving your worth through endless availability. Real loyalty begins with yourself. It means keeping your word, honoring your values, protecting your health, protecting your time, protecting your future. Because if you won't do that, no one else is obligated to do it for you. One of the biggest shifts I've experienced recently is this. I no longer want someone else to tell me what I'm worth. I want to decide that first, and then allow the world to negotiate with that standard. That's a completely different way of living. It changes the questions you ask. Instead of asking, will they value me? You begin asking, am I valuing myself enough to walk away when something is no longer aligned with who I am? Instead of asking, how can I prove myself? You begin asking, is this relationship still reciprocal? Instead of asking, how can I belong? You begin asking, can I belong somewhere without abandoning myself? Those questions changed my life. If you're listening to this today, maybe you're where I was. Maybe you're working harder than everyone around you. Maybe you're always the first one to volunteer. Maybe you're solving problems that were never yours. Maybe you're staying late every evening. Maybe you're answering emails during weekends. Maybe you've convinced yourself that eventually someone will notice. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. Don't build your future on maybe. Build it on clarity. Know your value. Know your boundaries. Know your responsibilities. Know your market. Know your goals. And revisit those questions regularly. Not because you should become selfish, but because your kindness deserves protection too. If I could go back and speak to the younger version of myself, I wouldn't tell her to become colder. I wouldn't tell her to stop caring. I wouldn't tell her to stop helping. I'd simply tell her this. Your generosity is one of your greatest strengths. Please don't give it away automatically. Choose where you invest it. Choose who has earned it. And remember that one of the people who deserves your loyalty is you. Because kindness without boundaries eventually becomes resentment. Loyalty without self-respect eventually becomes exhaustion. Hard work without recognition eventually becomes disappointment. And self-worth built entirely on someone else's approval eventually becomes fragile. The strongest foundation you can build is one that no employer, no client, no manager, no colleague, and no organization can take away. Your own respect for yourself. Before I finish, I'd like to leave you with a few practical steps that have helped me rethink the way I approach work and professional relationships. First, review your professional situation every 6 to 12 months. Ask yourself honestly whether your responsibilities, your compensation, your learning, and your opportunities are still aligned. Don't wait years before asking that question. Second, know your market value. Speak with recruiters, research salaries, compare opportunities, and understand what your skills are worth. Don't rely only on internal recognition to tell you whether you're progressing. Third, Before saying yes to work outside your normal responsibilities, pause and ask yourself, is this a genuine one-time emergency, or is this becoming the new expectation? If it's becoming a pattern, have the conversation early, rather than letting resentment build. Fourth, don't confuse being indispensable with being respected. Someone can rely on you enormously and still fail to recognize your contribution fairly. Dependability is a strength, but it shouldn't replace honest discussions about expectations and recognition. Fifth, invest in yourself with the same energy you invest in your employer. Continue learning, build your professional network, develop your own ideas, save money where you can, and never stop creating options for your future. And finally, remember this: never ask another person to decide your value. Let your value begin with you. Recognition from the outside is wonderful. Gratitude is wonderful. Praise is wonderful. But they should be confirmation, never the foundation. I'm still learning this myself. I'm still growing. I'm still making mistakes. I'm still discovering where my boundaries should be. I'm not sharing this because I have all the answers. I'm sharing it because perhaps someone listening today is about to make the same mistakes I made. If this video helps even one person protect their time, their peace, their dignity, or their future a little earlier than I did, then perhaps those painful years weren't only something I lived through. Perhaps they became wisdom. And maybe that's how we finally stop losing ourselves while trying so hard to belong somewhere else. If you've been or are going through something similar, please share your experience in the comments section. Also, a subscribe and a like would be greatly appreciated. And, as always, yours truly, the eldest daughter.